brief, so don't worry.
Good to see you.
Are you going to flip them for me? Yeah. So this is, of course, my reminder of what it was like 20 years ago when I took over. I can't believe it's 20 years. Keep going. Go ahead. And luckily, the yearbooks upstairs broke a main joist in the ceiling collapsed, so I had to get a whole new office. These are all the yearbooks, recently put in order when a young man came in to get information on the Bay Bridge. And while he was there, I showed him at the office, and he volunteered to help me put them all back in order. They're very heavy. So that was a good job done. Go ahead. I have a lot of boxes. The ones that have sticky notes on them are ones that have been sorted. They're in folders. They have codes on them. They're waiting to be put into our database. So we've inputted, so far we've done 97 boxes of information, and we have 5 binders that have postcards or photos in them. And those have been done. We have 1,400 line items for village property. There's a total of almost 10,000 line items in the database. And I also store documents for the museum because they don't have any place safe to store them. So those are included in the database as well. Okay. These are actually town records, but they're very old. Some of the assessment records, the earliest is 1861. They're in the little blue boxes down on the right. There's dog records on licensing and court records and overseer of the poor. And I do go through definitely the assessment records sometimes to try and figure out the age of a house or something. Okay, go ahead. Just some more. I keep going. I have 10 boxes of school yearbooks. They start in 1918. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to keep collecting those. And I don't know if I'd have to buy them and spend my budget on them.
You have both RL and Schrader?
Yep. I'm missing 2019. I don't know what happened, but I don't have 2019. But otherwise, I've made phone calls this year, and I have to call back, and hopefully they ordered enough, and I'll be able to get copies. And we have a lot of scrapbooks, and I've had volunteers have been able to index those. They all need to be put into a database, though. Keep going. I have 3 fireproof file cabinets. This one has slides that I've scanned. I don't want to store them in those carousels. They take up too much room, and we don't use those anymore. I have other items in the drawers, like photographs that have yet to be done. Keep going. These belong to the village, glass plate negatives. Years ago, I had a volunteer, and we went carefully. We got acid-free envelopes, put them in. Now, these are the 5x7s. The other ones were the 8x10s. I have about 16 8x10s. I have 200, I think, about 288 5x7s. I have 9 boxes like that. They have not been inventoried yet. One of my volunteers is very careful, so we're going to try and get those into the database. I also discovered more. These say Hawley on them. There's a few boxes like this, so they need to be put in acid-free sleeves and properly stored. So that's what they're like in my file cabinet. Of course, and then I have village sewer license books. I have quite a few of those. I think those are 1948. I love this. It's a dog tax, Village of Webster, 1910, that your little pet would have to wear. It's the only one I've ever seen, so that's kind of a neat item. And then I have like ribbons. Ralph Whitmer, keep going. Mr. Scribner, I think he had a business right in the Four Corners. The Webster Fire Department, of course, was the village's. Keep going. I have this. I have documents, papers. I think this is down on East Main. I think I know which house it is, but anyway, every once in a while someone asks me, oh, was there something in this house? And I love these old ads because I can answer the question. I recently found these. These are ribbons from the dedication of the Bay Bridge. It's like, so I'm gonna have to, I have quite a bit on the Bay Bridge, so they need to be logged in and put in there properly. This is the attic. This is what it looked like. I did have an Eagle Scout that did a project and built all shelves, a huge table. But Judy Lancy has volunteered to help me, and I also talked Bob into last year going through all the yearbooks, because I'm not going to keep them all. Some of them are moldy, some of them have too much writing in them. So if somebody wants, the museum will sell them a copy for $10. But we're not going to sell them one that's messy. This is more stuff. I have all these from the centennial celebration of the village, if you guys ever want to use them for something. These are the ceramic, they're about this tall, ceramic artwork. That was also done for the centennial. I have a couple boxes of those. And I have this up there. I think it was on a water tower. It's very, very heavy. 1928. The mayor was Mr. Wright. I can't read the one. And this is the kind of thing I'm going to sort through. Dick saved these maps. I think they're assessment maps from the town. But I want to check with them. And then there's no point in me keeping them if the town already has that information. And this is this is a scaled down version of the database. The codes, we have a category, the location, and then if we know the donor, and a description. If you guys want a copy of the items so far that are inputted, let me know and I'll get you a copy. And it's on a Google, we use a Google Drive spreadsheet. So, we can, more than one of us can be on there working at a time. I can do it from home or whatever. And I gave you a write-up of a lot of the stuff that I've done. I did have a visitor a couple weeks ago from Pennsylvania who was looking into foster family history, and I spent 2 hours with him, and he bought our book and wrote a check for $250 for the museum. So that was very nice. I still continue to take pictures around the village, businesses that open or close or facades that are being changed. I also am working with a volunteer that flies a drone for me, and he has done some shots in the village. I've got him doing stuff around town. David Malecki is really nice. He's volunteered to do that. And, I've inventoried and organized the map drawers, but I keep finding maps, so that's a pain. And that's about it. You guys have any questions?
Work.
Yeah.
What are the hours over there? If somebody
Well,
wanted to visit?
the museum is open Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 2 to 4:30. I'm not there usually, but I am sometimes. And then I'm always there Monday morning, Thursday morning, and then times in between. Or I meet people or whatever. I answer the phone, and here's all that stuff in my office, but then I have everything on my computer I have to try and keep track of. And of course, we lost Jeff from Jeff's Computers. He was always so helpful. Luckily, one of my volunteers is very good. She's pretty smart, so she can help. But I don't know who to use if something bad happens with the computer, so. And I do back it up. I try to back it up every week and bring the hard drive home for storage. So.
We have several relatively, I think, old businesses that have been around for quite a while
Yep.
that are now changing. Do we have pictures of those as they have been? For example, the bank, she's looking to sell that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's undergoing change. The corner where
Yep.
Jeff's computer was across from the music store has been there for.
Oh, that's an early, half of that building is built by the Corning, one of the Cornings that, you know, had that beautiful Corning house. They came early in the 1800s. So that's part of that's a really old building. I have photos. That's what, all those boxes, I've got them, I have boxes on organizations in town. I have them on properties by address. I have them businesses. I have police department. I have village. I have town. I have the school district. I have a volunteer that's been working on that for like forever. And that stuff is shortly going to start getting put into the database. So yeah, there are photos, documents. Luckily, we had George Wall that took pictures at the turn of the century around the village and West Webster. I think he took at least one in Union Hill. So we do, people ask a lot about the history or if I have photos and things. And then I definitely share them. I had to send something on a house on Lake Road today to somebody. We had a little write-up about it, so. Yeah, that's why I go around and take pictures too, because there's so many businesses that switch hands. Then we had Esther Dunn in the end of the 1960s who went around and documented a lot of businesses and churches, all kinds of things around town as she was starting to work on her book that was completed in 1970. So luckily we have those, but we don't have a lot of photos between early 1900, 1960s, and then 1960s on. So that's why I try to get as many pictures as I can. And I don't know what'll happen now with digital photography. So anyway.
Do you have a picture of the old corner with the well? Is there a well that was there?
Do you mean the fountain, the WCTU fountain? I have a picture of the fountain, and it was, I don't know how big. And I thought, what is painted on the background of this? And I just wet my finger, and it came off. It was probably lead paint. But I used a Kleenex and water, and I wiped off the background. It was used in the WCTU booklet that was done, and they just had the fountain. They didn't have the background, but it's the background of the old cobblestone that used to be where, you know, where Barry's was, and now we're going to get a new Irish pub there. So you can tell approximately where that fountain was based on that picture in the side of the building. So little things like that you can figure out. Yeah, so anytime you want to come down and look through, let me know. Anything else? Are you guys all set?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.